Ah, yes, the good old, you know, key start, of course. Haven't done this in a while, but welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. You might not be able to see me right now, but I will move into some slightly better light for you as we drive. Regardless of whether you see me or not, I am actually inside of the 2020 Hyundai Elantra. So who do we have to thank for this opportunity? Well, it is actually Capital Mazda of Cary. It is one of the vehicles that they have acquired. They actually have many Hyundai vehicles like the Tucson, the Ioniq, the Iconic, whatever, and several other like Hyundai vehicles that I can probably try out for you guys. I think they have a Subaru, like a Volkswagen, stuff like that. So if you're interested in this heavily discounted brand new Elantra with like 22 miles on it, you can hit up Will Rodden at Capital Mazda of Cary because I really appreciate them for all the opportunities. Spoiler alert, I actually really enjoy this vehicle. It is a car I've been really wanting to try out because I tried out the Kia Forte as well as the Kia Soul, and those are two cars I really enjoyed. So why the Elantra? Well, a lot of people ask me, like, what's the difference between Hyundai and Kia? Well, the main difference is the kind of the way that they tune these vehicles. Hyundai typically goes for like this more comfortable ride quality, essentially, more of a comfort feel. Whereas the Kias typically have a more sport-tuned suspension, essentially. They're like typically the more sportier options. So, I mean, thus far, you know, having it over some of these choppier roads, it is actually soaking up the bumps really well. But let's first of all kind of start off with what they kind of changed for 2020. So actually previously in 2019 when this vehicle got refreshed, it actually still utilized a 6-speed automatic. No more for this model. It actually utilizes a IVT or a CVT transmission. I actually find this to be a good thing because I've tried the CVT out in both the Kia Forte and in the Kia Soul. Love it. This is definitely Kia Hyundai's like best work thus far. I love how seamless a CVT. I'll almost go as far as to say as that this CVT performs better than some automatics do. It is super natural. It actually like downshifts or whatever. Don't mind that. That's just the forward collision warning assist. But it actually downshifts really well. And it actually simulates gears better than some automatics would actually, which is ridiculous, but it's the actual truth. The engine remains the same. It is a 4-cylinder, 2-liter 4-cylinder that is naturally aspirated, 147 horsepower and 132 pounds-feet of torque. You know, on paper that does seem extremely weak, but I'm telling you, paired with this IVT CVT thing, it reacts extremely well actually. You should not have any issues driving this out on the street, I promise you that. But yeah, dude, the ride quality in this is far superior to even the Kia Forte, even the Kia Soul actually. The Kia Soul actually drove identical to the Forte, but actually rode better than the Forte did, the Kia Soul anyway. But this rides even better than both of those cars, and actually, it's kind of unfair because this car is actually right on some 16-inch wheels, which was an option on the Forte and the Soul, but I did not drive it with those wheel options. I had the 17s on the Forte and the 18s on the Kia Soul. So I feel like if those cars had the similar kind of tire setup as this, or the wheel setup as this, I feel like it would be a little bit closer. But there is definitely a refinement and a softness to this that is a little bit more superior to those two Kia vehicles. That makes sense because that's kind of what Hyundai is all about. It does still utilize, it's all based on the same architecture, so it does have a cheaper, strut-based suspension and a torsion beam rear. But I'm telling you, it is really well done actually. It feels a lot better than it probably should actually, so I really appreciate that. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate like the quality of this drive. It's almost even kind of Toyota-like in the way that it's this comfortable. So I think it's going to be a very rewarding driving experience for most people. Brakes are nice and progressive, very easy to use this car. It's a smaller vehicle, so it's really easy to actually place this thing on the road. Visibility is stupendous out of this thing, of course. A lot of seat adjustment, manual cloth seats that is, but no matter, it is really comfortable to sit in this thing. Reasonably quiet in here. There's not a whole lot of wind noise or tire noise that kind of comes through. Something to note about those tires is, the Forte with the 17-inch wheels had 235 wide tires, which is pretty unnatural for you know, a car of this class, and this thing utilizes 205s. So it's a far like skinnier tire, but with the combination of this, the CVT and the skinnier tires, the gas mileage in this thing is going to be tremendous. I never saw anything below 30 mpg in the Forte, and this I feel like it's going to be even better. It's rated at 30 in the city and 40 on the highway. It is like nearly like hybrid levels of, you know, like fuel economy, and that's really what I love about these Kia Hyundai cars. It's a quality automobile, and it's just really cheap to buy and to maintain in the long run. You know, that 2-liter 4-cylinder, it's not even direct injected. It only has a port injection system, so that is fantastic. You know, kind of test out the handling here a little bit. Yeah, it gets up to speed effortlessly if you put your foot down in this thing. It's a really nice setup. You just really have to take it out and just try it for yourself. It is far better than what the numbers suggest, and I even feel like it's a little bit more effortless than the Kia Forte, actually. No idea what that is, but that's just how I feel, honestly. Pretty much no lag, of course. It just really takes off the line really well. Revs out nicely. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, for the price, it's a really stupendous car. The refinement, the power that this thing has for the class is all really good, actually. It's just effortless for the street. Brakes are really good in this car. They're really strong, but like it feels nice and progressive. Like the brake pedal doesn't feel stupid and like overweighted for no reason. Nothing about this car feels overweighted for no reason. The steering, you know, because it has like those meteor tires, it doesn't like, you know, dart around like the Forte or the Kia Soul did. Like it had like a slightly like overreactive steering. I still like the steering in those cars, but in this it's a little bit more natural. From a comfort standpoint and from just like, you know, driving this thing like on everyday streets, it's a really rewarding experience. It's something that I feel like you can own this car for like 10 plus years and just be happy with it. So now let's just get into this interior here. It's not fully loaded. It's not like, you know, covered in fake leather or anything like that. This is, you know, cloth seats, a lot more plastics all around. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. Not once did this ever like bother me on this drive. You know, it's kind of got like this rubbery kind of finish to the steering wheel, but honestly, dude, I can't argue with it for the price. I just cannot. The ergonomics of this vehicle is really good. Like everything is right where you would expect it in arm's reach. This climate control completely separated from the screen, so I really appreciate that. Really easy to use as well. The infotainment, you know, it's a little 5-inch screen. It's like the base screen essentially, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, base screen, and you know, it is a touchscreen still. There is no Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, none of that with this screen. You had to step up to the 7-inch screen, I believe, to get that. The audio system doesn't actually sound half bad for this class of like a base model system. It's not gonna blow you away, but it does get the job done. It's not complete trash. It doesn't sound like a tin can. Car itself doesn't feel like a tin can, which helps. But, you know, like I mentioned, a lot more plasticky in this model. You know, like the buttons here, you do have one-touch up and down windows for just the driver's side, but not the other windows. It's like a regular, you know, electric window. Don't have automatic headlights or the wipers or anything like that. The gauge cluster, I really dig that. I don't know who got the balls to do this, but it's kind of got like this checkered flag thing going on inside of the gauge cluster. You know who does that? It's AMG Benz. Like that gauge cluster design, that's typically what you see in a Mercedes AMG product. So I'm very surprised to see that here in this Hyundai. That is a unique touch. It actually straight up looks like AMG gauges. You do have the classic kind of Hyundai Kia helper screen in the middle, very easy to use. Everything's easy. Like you got volume controls here on the steering knob, all that good stuff. So I really appreciate that. You have a generous amount of space actually. You know, put your phone up here. You can charge it with the USB cable. The armrest has a nice amount of space in it. Actually, like the Toyota Yaris I was in didn't even have an armrest, so that's pretty good. And the glove box is a decent size as well. You have these nice door pockets with enough space for drinks or like a water bottle, so that's great. You don't have a sunroof in this particular model, but not a big deal. I don't really miss it. The rear legroom is not bad, not the best, but it's not bad. For this class of vehicle, it's pretty good, I would say. I do fit back there with my seat sitting at 5'11". I can't fit behind myself without too many issues. Like I said, it is a cloth interior, so the seats are pretty comfortable, and the trunk is really generous. I really like the size of the trunk that you get in this class of vehicle with this Hyundai Elantra. That's really nice, actually. So all in all, right, how do I feel about this thing? Should you buy it? Absolutely. If you're in the class, this is definitely a go. There's not a lot of cars that can offer like this much value. Legitimately though, I think driving it, I actually prefer this a little bit more to the Forte, I think, with the comfort and all that. Again, it does utilize the smaller wheels, so that also aids in the comfort, but it is just, you can just tell it's tuned for that. There were absolutely no creaks and rattles as I was driving this vehicle. Granted, it is a brand new car. Comfortable cars typically tend to age pretty well. The point is though, you're gonna be satisfied driving this for many, many years actually, and that's really all that matters, I think, in a class of vehicle like this. Cheap to buy, cheap to maintain. Like I mentioned, no direct injection, it's port injected only. The CVT is absolutely excellent. Mimics gears better than an actual transmission would actually. Just a car that you would really need to check out. It's only like 16 grand here at this dealership. So again, I'm gonna leave Capital Mazda's information down in the description box below, whether you're interested in this Hyundai or the other Hyundais that they have here, or like a Mazda. You can talk to Will Rodden about that. So thank you very much everyone for watching this video. If you have time to share it and like it, I greatly appreciate that. And if you're an owner of this vehicle, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.